So hello, welcome to another live stream. So we have a very international community here. I don't know if it's morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, but I thought, here it's late in the UK, but I thought I'll do a live stream. It was certainly not planned today, but I think the price action, it deserves a live stream. It's obviously the most interesting price action we've seen in a long time in crypto. We want to talk about that a little bit, maybe talking a little bit about the things that I normally don't talk about in the videos, because it's a very critical moment, okay? I don't know how much time we have, maybe an hour or so, maybe a little longer, depending on how it goes, depending on how many likes this live stream gets. I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button. I actually needed to see if I made that public. Yeah, I did. If you hit the like button, it would really help to make this stream a little bit more popular and get it out there to people, because it's very late here in the UK. Not tired yet, which is good, because crypto have completely messed up my daily routine. Sorry for anybody who's watching this as recording, because I did announce that very spontaneously. And it was a very spontaneous idea. But, well, you can't really time the market necessarily. It's obviously the price action that makes this, I think, a reasonable idea to do a live stream like this. Obviously, we don't want to cause hype. We don't want to cause FOMO, as you would probably find it on many other YouTube live streams around crypto right now. So if you're looking for FOMO, you're not in the right spot. But we want to talk about the market structure. Where do we think the market could be going? What the relevant levels are, what has changed, maybe a longer term outlook, I don't know, looking at your questions and just talking about the price, right? So again, it's very interesting. We've got a few hundred people in the stream. Would be great if we could maybe get a few more. Obviously, I didn't really announce it, which is a shame. But maybe if you just give me a minute, then I will, because I didn't post it on YouTube. I'd like to do that. One second, let me just do that in parallel on the second screen. Because I want to make sure that otherwise people come later and say, oh, I didn't know, So let me just do that. We've got a bit of time, so I hope you have a bit of time. So 1 second, I just try to do this right now. Okay, right. It is what it is. Okay, so yeah, what's going on? I mean, we are only like $500-600 away from a new 2023 high in Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin certainly has outperformed a lot of the altcoins this year, which is quite impressive. Bitcoin has outperformed a lot of the other asset classes this year. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Bitcoin has outperformed the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and many other assets as well. Gold, silver have been outperformed by Bitcoin. I think nat gas has been outperformed by Bitcoin, but especially impressive that it's been outperforming the S&P and Nasdaq in an environment like this. And most recently, it's moved completely opposite to the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq and the S&P are at a critical level. So we cannot drop much further there, or we have a major market crash. We will have a major market crash if certain levels break. I mean, they never say we will, but it's very likely. Crypto is going the opposite way, which is so interesting. It's actually quite a bit of a risk-off environment out there, but Bitcoin seems to move. The altcoins not so much. I mean, yes, of course, as well, but they still have quite a bit of catching up work to do. So it's a very interesting market environment. And obviously what we want to talk about here is sort of the potential that Bitcoin could. I mean, Bitcoin could break today, okay? I don't necessarily expect it, but everything is possible. What we can track, though, are the relevant bullish support levels, okay? So, I mean, I've mentioned already that my leaning is bullish, okay? Anybody who's been following us for the last few months, maybe even since the bear market low, maybe even longer, but since the bear market low, you know that we have talked about it already in March, that with this dip and Bitcoin holding support, that the bear market low was likely in. I mean, nothing is guaranteed. I don't have a crystal ball, okay? But we can do our best to be on the right side of the trend, which is up. And I still don't trust this move to the upside, but it shows momentum. And I would have preferred until Friday, Thursday, Friday, to see the price come down into this region. But we recognize that there are some bullish signals that are playing out here. And I think it was the right time. I think it was on Thursday or so, Friday, that I announced that we are going to see this as continuation of an uptrend now. Tentatively, until we have the proper structure that we need to see to really fully confirm it. But at least we want to focus on rather on the upside and not anymore on the downside, because the market gives us clear signals. Okay, so I think that was worth doing, and that was the right time, and hopefully that helped some of you, because now the market has moved significantly since then. And obviously now we're in resistance, so it's all about, can we push or not? And again, nobody's got the crystal ball, but as long as we're holding this trend line, the market's obviously going to move. But it's just very exciting. I mean, you know, I can't tell you what will happen, but I can tell you that the trend is still up. And I can tell you that, if we push higher and if we have a sustained break above resistance, then I think this is going to, where FOMO will kick in, because you can tell that a lot of short positions will be issued in this region with a lot of stops above the recent highs. So if the FOMO, however, pushes the price much higher, you will get a lot of liquidations there or a bit of a short squeeze, okay? And that could push the price quite quickly into this target region that I've got on the daily chart in the 40 to 50K region. Not in a day, okay? And I think it's not going to be an easy ride to new all-time highs, absolutely not. And it might not even be this structure, okay? We might come down again, it might just be some kind of a crazy high B wave, but we're gonna talk about that when we get to the target. If we break, okay? So we haven't broken yet. So this is the time where it could fail in an epic way still, because this could still just be a high B wave. We haven't seen 5 waves up, 3 waves down. We have only seen 3 waves up. So it's still a very, very fragile structure. And again, for anybody who's just come in, so I will check your questions as well now, but obviously I can't answer all of them. We slowed down the chat a little bit because otherwise it will not be controllable. But I would like to have as many people here in the stream as possible. So it would be great if you could hit the like button if you haven't done so, and if you appreciate the stream. But so D-Man says this market is a shame. Yeah, it is difficult. It's difficult. I mean, at least I've got a coffee here. It's been extremely choppy, so I don't trust this move. But still, though, you can't deny the strength of this market at the moment. It's different to what we had here. It's clearly different to what we had in July. Already in July, we were looking at a potential breakout, but it didn't materialize. The market dropped below a certain level. I think it was 29.5, and then we started to focus on a downtrend, which was the right thing to do. Here we were looking still at continuation of the downtrend, but you have to listen to the market, right? And it was the right spot. But that's the risk that every analyst has, right? If I was still focusing on the move down today, you would get a lot of hate here, right? So you have to flip. But I did say tentatively, so I have no problem to change my view when we have very low quality price action, because when we have low quality price action, Elliott wave is less predictable. It's basically not an impulse. When we get an impulse, and there are clear rules, right? The foundation here is not impulsive. So it was different here. And then we had very clear rules to follow, and it's very predictive. What is not so predictive is when we have a diagonal structure, which is very messy, and then we can only use it to understand is the trend up or down, which is helpful, and to understand the key pivots, okay? But it's just less precise. That's the problem. We cannot confirm yet that the low is in. Even if it goes and completely breaks out, the problem is I haven't got the structure to confirm a low is in, but we can still track bullish support to ride the trend. It would be easier if we get a pullback from here and then take off, but I don't know. At the moment there's no sign of a pullback. So Benjamin says you are so bearish, and now after boom you change, bro. No, we are, first of all, we're not bearish. Yeah, I can't. I've been talking about this uptrend so often on the daily time frame. If you missed those videos, I mean, I do them every few days, the daily time frame videos. The only point was that until Thursday, yeah, we were focusing here primarily on a downturn. But it was Friday or so when we announced that no, the trend is up, so we're going to focus on the upside. Now, if you don't watch those videos or don't consume our content, then and you missed that. That's the problem. So we didn't get bullish today. No, it was on, I think, Friday or so before actually that rally occurred. Okay, so very important. Also, if you don't want to miss those announcements, you can check out our membership, because we obviously make sure that everything is written down there. So yeah, also you always want to make sure that you're on the right side of the trend, yeah, trend. So also if you say you lost all your money, I mean, honestly, you need to focus on risk management. Don't trade if you don't have an idea of risk management. You need to do that first. Very important. Okay, very important. Yeah. So I needed to address that. Okay. Also, it's important to understand that a skill in the markets is that you have to be flexible. So you cannot be. I think we were still focusing here primarily on the downside. But if you see that bearish setups are not followed through, you have to change. You have to. I mean, I still see people on crypto Twitter who talk about a new bear market low, and honestly, that can still happen. But we're quite far away from new bear market lows, right? So you want to be, the inability to change your opinion in a market that forces you to be flexible is dangerous. Okay, very dangerous. But if you cannot cope with short-term fluctuations, you have to focus on the longer time frame. It's as simple as that. Okay. But yeah, exactly. So Hamza says, yeah, we can still go lower. Absolutely. I mean, anything is possible, but that's why I give you bullish support. Okay. So I did say that against this support level, we're focusing on higher. It's a very fragile structure. I mean, all I can do is to point that out, right? That it's a very fragile structure. This is not built on a solid base, okay? And that's the problem. And therefore, because we've seen that coming, that it is a potentially fragile structure and that we are in the chop, I've recommended all the time that gradual accumulation is for most people the best strategy. And honestly, anybody who has just done gradual accumulation of Bitcoin this year will be massively in profit. Yeah. Whereas anybody who tried to trade with leverage short term, up and down, I would say 90% of people have lost money, because that's how it goes in trading, okay? It is what it is. And it costs much less time to do just gradual accumulation when the time is right for it. But in the end, I can't recommend. I can only recommend what I think is reasonable. I can't give you any advice. I can only provide the analysis and not give you what you should do. Okay. So obviously lots of questions, comments, so it's great. Link. Okay, Link. I mean, I covered Link today. Okay, what do I have? Bitcoin. If Bitcoin stays above 31K, will altcoins run again? I mean, they will probably run with Bitcoin more or less in their individual structures. Certainly, they won't be bearish. The question is, they obviously move in different groups, and I think Bitcoin is going to be leading. And I mentioned it many times before that I think that's sort of my view, that if Bitcoin gets to our target up here, which is sort of between 44 and 53K, if we get there, I think there will be a period of consolidation, maybe in this wave 4. Yeah, I will specify that further. I mean, it depends on what happens now. Okay, then we can specify that a bit further. but there will be probably a period where Bitcoin will just consolidate, and then a lot of the altcoins will catch up. And that is maybe when we get a bit of an altcoin season or so. That might also be when Bitcoin dominance might be dropping a bit. Wenn Kunz, okay, Solana. So Wafer asked, does volume play into your analysis? Not really, because the problem with volume is when volume shows up in crypto, it's usually too late. Okay, then you're already in the rally. Okay, so I typically like to be part of the rally before it starts. I'd like to have a position. I don't like to chase. People or analysts who use volume, they typically will only indicate that the rally is going when it's already going and when the crowd is already there. I think that's at least how I found it in crypto, because you know, when it goes too late. You know, it's already gone. Okay, so that's why Elliott wave is so useful in crypto, because it gives you a heads up when a rally might start, as we had it down here on the Solana chart in this support area, which was an area of interest where we said the chart has a good chance to turn around, right? And it did that, yeah, in a bit of a messy structure, which is normal in this kind of market, apparently, as we've seen. But that's why, you know, ideally I prefer to be in here and not up here, right? When the volume has started showing. So no, I don't really consider volume. More the indicators like RSI, MACD. That's what I use more often. Yeah, Solana. No, nothing to add really. I mean, Solana is starting. I don't want to call it weakness, but it shows a few more retracements up here, but it hasn't pulled. It hasn't gone below our support levels. So only when that happens, I can indicate that the top is in. And that means $26.90 is bullish support. So nothing has changed. So ETH BTC, I have a few people ask me about ETH BTC. So let's do that. I was looking at the chart today. I haven't changed. I would like to probably change it a little, because it hasn't shown a recovery yet. So I might change that support range here. So far, we haven't seen what we need to see to confirm a reversal here. So I'm still watching for one. It's pretty much overextended to the downside. But at the moment, Bitcoin is still outperforming ETH. I expect that to change. We did expect it to change somewhere in this region. That can still happen. It's just that no reversal has shown yet. Okay, so we're still watching for further downside, but I will revise the chart. I need to look at, I think this box needs to change, and I might just call that an A, B, C structure instead of 3 up, wave 4, 5. So wave A might actually sit here, and then the B wave can come a little lower. That I think is what I'm gonna do, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I need to look at that in detail when I have a minute. But yeah, certainly no sign of a low in place yet. I think that's key. So Bitcoin is still leading. Okay, for El Rippo, we'll have a quick look at Mara, one of the Bitcoin miners. But I wanted to do it today. I haven't had the chance. I'm not sure if I can give you an answer here, because if not, I will do a video tomorrow. My view, okay, so let me take that out actually. So yeah, there is a bullish count. I'm not leaning towards the bullish count for Mara, to be honest. I'm currently watching primarily, and I will confirm that in a video, but I think we might be here in circle wave 4. That's what I would say at the moment, with one more low to come then. But don't take this for granted yet. I need to look at the structures in detail. I haven't done that today. I wanted to. And then resistance would be all the way up to, well, it actually would be the golden ratio as well, because we're in a diagonal. So it would be up to 1260. So I would say above 1260, a more bullish count might be at play, which would be, I take that detail out here, which would be wave 5, yeah? But it would need to take a move above 1260 to confirm that. It's not a very healthy chart. I've been warning about these miners, and even with Bitcoin going, I mean, yes, it's showing upside, but it's still a pretty weak chart overall. Whereas Mara is, of all the Bitcoin miners, probably still the best one, still the strongest one. Very choppy, and it broke here. This kind of, okay, it wasn't even a head and shoulders. It couldn't even form a right shoulder. So, but I would primarily see this now as a wave 4 rally with one more low to come in a wave 5. But again, I will update that in a video probably tomorrow. I was busy focusing on Bitcoin today. Mini Cooper. No, I'm not taking any Bitcoin profits soon. Not yet. No. My biggest regrets from the last bull run was that I didn't have enough accumulation done in the bear market. Now I've changed that this year. So I don't want to take profits too early. You know, I'm not in a rush with that, but no. When we get the next pullback, whenever we get it, I will take a futures position with a tight stop loss, and then I will take profits along the way. But at the moment, all my BTC are basically I just hold it for now until we maybe I will size down a bit when we get to 40, 50K. But you know, actually, I don't want to do that before we get to 70, 80K, to be honest. So at least that's my current plan. But I will announce that in the membership when I buy or sell or something. But yeah, no, I don't want to risk taking profits too early. Very important. Not of my core position. When I add a futures position, then I will take profits along the way, yes, but not of the core, which I built throughout the bear market. Yeah, Dot, I made a video today. Muhammad, you might want to check that. I think nothing has changed for Dot. I made a video today. So Mo asked me, do I expect Bitcoin to pull back? I will certainly prefer it, but the market doesn't care about what I prefer. I would prefer it. It's pretty much extended. It has done 5 waves. Actually, I would like to change. I would like to put the 3 here. Would like to put the 4 here, so it looks better. I looked at that before the live stream. But yeah, I mean, I would prefer a pullback, also to get some clarity of where we are. But do I expect it? Can't really say I expect it. Not as long as the trend is up, right? The trend is up. So I would expect it once we break the trend line. So yeah, there have been some positive news, obviously, around the ETF and stuff. So that might drive it sort of from the background. Yeah, let's look at ETH. And by the way, anybody who's come in, if you appreciate the content and we talk a little bit about Bitcoin, Ether, and so on, please hit the like button. It would really help with making the stream a bit more popular. Let's look at ETH. Yeah, Uxama, I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately, so I cannot tell you if Bitcoin is going to go up or down. That's not what we can do. What I can tell you, it's in an uptrend right now, and we are at a key pivot point. And here, and I can only tell you have to focus on risk management. That's what I can tell you. If you're at a big loss, that's you shouldn't be at a big loss, because you have to cut losses early. So you cannot be at a big loss if you have risk management nailed down. So you have to do that before you do anything. Very important. I can't really tell you if the market goes up or down. That's not what you should focus on anyway. As a trader, you need to focus on where your risk is. Okay. So there is no easy answer. Yeah, I mean, Ether is still in the price channel. Okay, it reached our target box here, I think yesterday. I will take that off now. And it seems to want to push higher in white wave 3. So it's a similar structure to Bitcoin, getting a bit extended here. And at some point we should get that wave 4 pullback, but there's no sign of it yet. And then a wave 5 up later would be ideal. At the moment, this could still be this sort of triangle, sideways triangle, but the white wave count here is sort of what I'm focusing on together with Bitcoin, which is the uptrend, which would be further confirmed above resistance at 1753. Then the DXY, we analyzed it on the More Trading Online channel. I only made a video yesterday. I think nothing changed in case you want to be kept up to date. With the DXY, we can have a quick look, but I don't think anything changed today. So if anybody likes to get, oh, it comes down a bit, great. So if anybody likes to have a little bit more information about the stock market, yeah, the NASDAQ, S&P, DXY, bonds, gold, silver, check out our second channel. It's called More Trading Online. Very important to be aware of different markets as well, not just crypto. But I mean, the idea here is I'm very bearish on the DXY. What I'm not sure about if the downtrend has started yet, but I am assuming it at the moment, especially as long as we're holding below the October high. So I'm assuming this move down has started in wave C. And if that happens, then we should get into a multi-month, maybe even year-long downtrend for the DXY. Yeah? And that might fuel Bitcoin's uptrend a little bit today, even though they have decoupled a little in recent weeks and months as well. So yeah, well, let me know if you have any specific questions about that one. So Ryan, you also have a question about ADA. So ADA seems to be pushing towards that white target box there. I mean, it has pushed above the previous high, so it's not a sustained break. Honestly, it will, I would say it will. I think ADA can't do it alone, but if Bitcoin pushes above its key resistance, then ADA will probably do that as well. At the moment, I would have to shift even this C wave further. So this triangle would most likely extend if this is still a triangle. But ultimately, to really get towards this target range up there for the E wave, it would need to get a sustained break above 27 cents. That actually hasn't happened just yet. So, but I think it's pushing. I mean, a similar situation to Bitcoin. I mean, I can't tell you if Bitcoin will break. You know, I would be a billionaire if I could tell you that Bitcoin will break above its key resistance level, right? I can only say the trend is up. The trend is also up here. I mean, also on the ADA chart, you know, you can. I think the chances are certainly good to break it, better than it has been in. You know, I mean, okay, for ADA this is not such a meaningful level. Yeah, okay, we have to be honest here. But for you can add a trend line. For Bitcoin, I mean, the chances to break that resistance are probably higher than they have been in recent months, in all of 2023, I would say, because the difference to what we had here is that here we had a bearish divergence that actually played out. Here, currently, we have no bearish divergence. Actually, it's pushing to an extreme level on the daily RSI. I think there might be a small bearish divergence forming right now. Yes, but on the daily, let's look at the daily. Maybe not. No bearish divergence on the daily. Whereas we had here a bearish divergence that broke. Here we invalidated one. So it's a very, very strong uptrend. And, you know, it can stay in the overbought range for longer than you think, really. So that's the main difference to what we had in July. So from a technical point of view, I think the chances to break here are quite high. But I would still prefer a pullback before it happens. Well, let's see if Bitcoin behaves and gives us one. At the moment, there is at least no sign of a pullback. But we all know how quickly it's a crazy market, right? Crypto it's a crazy market. We all know how quickly sentiment can shift in the crypto world. So it's still consolidating at a very, very high level here. Okay, nobody asked about nobody asked about Veracity. Yeah, I'm not too convinced about Veracity. I have to be honest, because it's not really showing that upside pressure that we would like to see from this support area. I mean, support is holding right now. Okay, support is holding right now, but it's not going impulsively. So other coins that we have been tracking in support levels like Aave, Riou, they are performing much better. Link also has come out of a long-term support area, but Veracity is looking too choppy to me at the moment. So it's holding support. As long as it's holding that support box here at 0.0043, it can certainly push higher, but it's not giving us very, very clear evidence that it wants to turn around here, okay? Not very clear. So all I can say, we're holding support for now, but it needs to take out the 0.053 USD level, actually. 0.053 USD level to start that uptrend, continue with that uptrend, basically. Oh, thank you, Jacob. Yeah, we wanted to look at MATIC. A few people asked about MATIC. So what I think about MATIC is your question. So MATIC, I mentioned it in yesterday's video. There's a key level. There's a key level that needs to break, really, to consider something more bullish here, because the downside structure is not very complete. We can call it complete if we assume that it just could not complete its last wave down. So we call that a truncation in Elliott wave. It's not ideal. Essentially, we were just waiting for one more low here on the micro level. So we have hit our green support area. And if it turns around here, it's turning around and turned around where it needed to. But we always have to be a bit skeptical if it ideally would have had another low. Now, if it goes up from here, at the moment, I would simply see that as a reset of the B wave. So the thing is, let me take that out, we can't see the chart. So the problem is that this, at the moment, this price action is only, again, corrective. So now that we've broken above micro resistances, we can technically allow it to go all the way up to 78 cents in this structure. I only have 3 waves up. So once I have a first 5-wave move up, followed by 3 waves down, so basically a first rally with a first pullback that's holding a higher low, I would say also here probably the low is in. I'm tracking it. I'm tracking it already. You know, that's why we said on Friday or Saturday that we now tentatively assume that lows are in, but I just don't have enough evidence to confirm it. And it also doesn't look as aggressive, and it doesn't look as good as a setup as some other coins were, like Aave, for example, which we've also been tracking. So if it can get above 78 cents, okay, then I would say the low was in from an analysis point of view. But from a trading point of view, the boxes are usually the areas to buy. Yeah. So again, not able to confirm it from an analysis point of view, because this can turn into too much other stuff. Okay, this can turn into too much other stuff. Like here, it could be a B wave rally with another C wave still to come later, and which could come a little lower into that area. That's still possible. But let me just tidy the chart up while we're here. So we'll add a micro count later, but this would just be an A, B, C structure within the B wave likely. So Arthur, you said, so if I said if Bitcoin will go higher into support, into resistance, I guess you mean, you will consider that it already has 5 waves. So what do you think now? Yeah, I don't have reliable 5 waves yet. So the fact that it's just extending higher here is rather confirming that we're in a 3rd wave. So I'm not very willing to assume we're already in the 5th. Okay, so I'm not assuming that yet. It looks too much like 3-wave structure still to me. So yeah, I haven't looked at Casper for a while. So a few people asked for Casper. Okay, so Casper did hold our support. Did hold our support, the 50% retracement, and is pushing against resistance again. So Casper could develop an inverse head and shoulders here, maybe. Okay, maybe as a bit of an it's normally a reversal pattern, but they can act as continuation patterns as well. So this could be maybe here inverse head and shoulders. I see that potentially forming on many coin charts. DOT is another one. But yeah, certainly still tracking here for a potential fifth wave in the making in wave 5 of 3, which could reach next the 5.9 cent level and then possibly 6.5. 7.4 also would not be unrealistic in this current uptrend, and I would only change my view if the price breaks below 4.15 cents. Bogdan, we just looked at Mara. Yes, I will probably make a video tomorrow because I haven't finalized the count yet. So I will probably do a video tomorrow, make a video tomorrow. Pablo, no. For QNT, that the bottom is confirmed, much more is needed than just a few dollars increase. It's certainly moving. It's certainly moving, and it's moving too much for really a wave 4 here. So, but again, it's only a 3-wave move up. It will indicate for most of these coins when we have the first 5-wave move up after the downturn, then support, right? Because what you don't want to do, you don't want to say the low is in if it hasn't reached. I mean, it's missed our target by, okay, like $3. See, that's not much, but not if you consider where we're coming from, right? However, it looks incomplete. I have to say that. I know it's frustrating, but it just does look incomplete. And what we want to avoid is something like that, like a 3-wave rally here. We want to avoid something like this, all these corrective rallies that QNT did. And all of this is also looking like a 3-wave rally. So, okay, it broke a trend line, but it stopped at resistance. So no, it's not confirmed for me yet that the low is in place. I would still be watching for the $80 level. But again, as I said many times now, I'm tentatively assuming that lows could be in for many of these coins. But QNT is one of the few that hasn't really given me much confidence. I mean, I'm happy with DOT, how it's working out at the moment. Happy with Aave, you know, GMX, Bitcoin potentially, but QNT hasn't really done much. So most of the coins are still just in their like 3rd wave, so they could just be ABC structures, like Doge as well, and they haven't broken above their initial resistances yet. So that's what's next here for QNT. Very important. Okay, so a few of you asked about Link. Yeah, I don't see any. We actually see it better on the long-term chart. I don't see any new stuff that I could tell you. So the levels are very clear. The parameters are clear. There's nothing new I could tell you from the previous videos. So the next level to watch is 1180. We're in an uptrend. Yes, it could follow the white count, which is the bullish one, but it will only be tested for that really in the first steeper pullback, which is not here yet. Also, we don't have 5 waves up yet. So similar to Bitcoin, similar structure to Bitcoin. In the bullish count, which is the white one, we would have a wave 1 here, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a 5. Only after these 5 waves is confirmed. And then we get an ABC pullback. What's different to previous rallies is that we now broke out of that key resistance level at $9.50. So I'm watching also here if a low is in. Slight concern about the downside structure as well. It's not high quality price action. I have to say that because it could, if this was high quality price action, I would be happy, but it's not. So what could happen is a similar situation to what we had with many coins in December, January, because after the pullback, a lot of coins made new bear market lows, right? So you don't want to prematurely confirm that the low is in. Jacob, thank you. So you asked for Optimism, which is one of the coins we cover, yes. Yeah, nothing bullish. I mean, Optimism is a coin that I mentioned in my previous videos and so on, in updates to channel members. It's just in a huge triangle probably. So expect sideways action, and it's in a range. And the range basically here is characterized, at least the short-term range, by these two lines between 124 and 183. So it's at the moment, it's just moving in this range between these lows, okay, which are at around about 124, and the last significant swing high at 183. For me, that's the range. It's sideways, lower volatility, nothing bullish at the moment, not yet. So if it breaks above 183, then I think we can track this uptrend here, but it's too early for that. This is just a range at the moment. And also the overall Elliott wave count leaves too much room for interpretation. And the reason is it's the long-term chart isn't bullish. So you can see here, I mean, this chart has, yes, it has made a new all-time high in the bear market, which is good, but only in 3 waves. So again, it could just be a sideways range. It's not an impulse. So if it develops one, great, but we have no evidence for that. And in the end, this could just be a large corrective structure here, which could turn into a lifetime range or something, right? That's the problem with these charts, with a chart like Optimism. And also even short term, there's nothing bullish. So oops. Oh, thank you very much. Wealth in seconds. If you have a question, let me know. I haven't seen anything. But thank you very much. Anything on, okay. Yeah, TRB. I mean, TRB is also still pushing. Oh, okay. So this now broke even above resistance. So yeah, this is likely something more bullish than just a B wave. But I would have to change the chart. I mean, it's now pushed above. It's not invalidated the B wave. It's not invalidated the B wave, but if it's pushing above the 78.6 retrace, we can start to assume that this is following like a 1, let me see, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this could potentially form the third wave then, 4, 5, yeah. So that was the key resistance level here at $83. The fact that it's breaking above it makes a move down in wave C less likely, not impossible. But yeah, I would have to adjust that for the next update. But basically, this wave 2 here would probably sit here, and then we have a 1, 2. But overall, we did say that against the support area here, the focus can be on higher. Now, again, I would have preferred a bit of a pullback here, but it seems to go more directly. So it's still in this price channel here, which is unbroken. Okay, so the channel acts basically as a pattern that it's still following. And only when it starts to break out of the channel, really, this uptrend is basically finished. So Veracity we covered already. I can't cover coins twice, unfortunately. Rune. So Rune, we have 2 possibilities. This was also one of the setups where we said we've got 5 waves up. Okay, so 5 waves up, we're looking then for the price to get into this yellow box, which it did, and ideally reversing out of the box. As long as we're holding $1.10, the focus can be on higher. The question that we are dealing with now is the low already in this wave 2, or do we come down a little lower? Yes, the wave 2 low could be in. What I cannot rule out is that this is still a B wave, which is just basically part of the corrective rally. The B wave can also overshoot. Yeah, that we need to consider that. The thing is, if it's forming 5 waves, then we can rule out the B wave. At the moment, it's only 3 waves. Basically here, cannot confirm that the low is in, but this was one of our long trade setups that we shared. And if it's forming 5 waves up and 3 waves down, then we've got the next setup. So that's one avenue, one route it can take. And then it goes more directly from here. Then the wave 2 was already in. If it stays at 3 waves, even if it pushes above the standard resistance, B waves can do that, then it can still have to assume that the C wave is still happening, okay, for a lower wave C of 2. And then basically it can go from here. The key level, the key bullish support is still at $1.10, $1.11. Question about CFX there. I've seen a few. Yeah, CFX, still below a trend line. It did reach that support level. Ideally, we would like to see the price go to 0.097, but it came to 10 cents. So it came very close. It made a lower low. We wanted that. It's done everything it needs to do. I'm just watching for reversals now, which would be the ideal time to do it from here. But yeah, it needs to break the trend line for further confirmation, right? It hasn't done that yet. And if I go to the 1 hour chart, then yeah, you might have a small wave 1 up there, but the price action is not clear enough to really go into micro counting here. I would rather leave it at that level. And next critical resistance here will be, I don't sure if I count that wick here, but it's sort of around 11.7 cents will be the next resistance. Yeah, it could form here, maybe a bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern, something like that. Yeah, sort of an ugly one. And then with that inverse head and shoulders break out of the trend line possibly. Okay, I mean, Near Protocol, I made a video today. I recommend you just check the video. Aave, I made a video today, no change. Dot, I made a video today, no change. So I would recommend you check the videos because there's no change. We just covered Q&T, so there's also no change. FET, I can check. We haven't looked at that yet. And by the way, good morning, Spectre from AU. Yeah, it's late here. In the meantime, is Bitcoin actually doing something? Not really. It might not do anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, we're heading towards the daily candle close. We can always get a bit of crazy volatility, but the market is now getting overheated, right? So it would be good to get a bit of a pullback there. Yeah, FET. I'm not sure if you watched my last video. The idea was that we've started the C wave, and so it's sort of certainly going that way. Next resistance will be at 27.4 cents, and this C wave should ideally reach the box. Well, at the very least, I'd like to see from a Fibonacci extension point of view the projections that we reach sort of 31 cents, and then we need to take it from there. But as long as that last swing low is holding, I would assume we're now in the C wave here. Support was here. Yeah, it's not ruled out that we drop down again. Absolutely not. The idea was that this is doing an A, B, C possibly before coming down again. Absolutely possible. I would actually need to move the B wave up here. So it's just a larger correction. Basically like this. No change to the last video. So A, B, C. That B wave could also extend a little longer, but at the moment because it's pushing above the last swing highs. We would say it's likely pushing higher now. GALA? I'm not sure if GALA is still alive, actually. No, nothing changed. I mean, GALA is even selling off on a day like that. So that's really poor price action, poor quality. I mean, I'm not sure if it will ever recover. I think so. But the question is it going to make new all-time highs? I'm actually very skeptical about that. So it's not high quality chart, not high quality price action. It needs to break out of the channel first to convince me that something more bullish is happening. And yeah, there's GALA. Injective, had a few questions here about Injective, INJ. So INJ seems to be breaking out of its consolidation structure. We had this triangle on the chart here, and yeah, it seems to be forming its wave 5, which is amazing. Okay, so break above $10. That was the breakout point. Let's see how sustainable it is. Okay, but we were tracking here a triangle. I'm not sure if it actually was a triangle. It might have been here with a very short D wave then, and a very short E wave, but that's not very reliable. Actually, I'm sure there are better counts. Maybe, but then maybe not. Okay, so it works as a triangle. It certainly works as an Elliott wave triangle at the moment. Of course, I cannot, it could still be some kind of a high B wave it's doing before coming down in 4. But at the moment, we can carefully assume that this wave 4 is in. It's breaking out. We're now in wave 5. And I did say, I think in previous videos, that the next target would sort of be the $15 level. But it's not a chart where it makes sense to do micro counting, because also here we are moving in sort of diagonal structures. I just don't like the look of the chart, which doesn't mean it's bearish. It just means we have to be a bit flexible with this one. But the trend is certainly up. And I think the key level here was that it needed to hold here this red line at $6.35. I mean, I've seen a few questions about Riou. I'm not sure if I ever looked at this chart. If I haven't, I can't probably give you a count. I might have. Let's just double check that. Ah, yeah, I have looked at it. Yeah, it's a pretty poor quality chart, I have to say. I mean, it's one that made a lifetime downtrend possible 5 waves up. Highly skeptical. I would not see this as attractive long trade opportunity. While it could work, okay, while it could work against the support, which is very far away, 2.7 cents. That's not a target, it's just support. So while it could work, this is a lifetime downtrend. So just be there are other charts that at least give you more confidence about where we are. I would actually say, to be honest, if I look at this, I would actually say that we're likely still in wave 1, I have to say. And that we might be working on a triangle here or something. So that wave 1 is actually not even finished. It would rather give us a healthy 5-wave move if we push higher once more. So that's sort of, with its limited charts, price action, chart history, I think this is what we might be able to assume here, that this is still in wave 5, and that actually gives us a clearer 5-wave move, and then we can look at a pullback in wave 2 afterwards, but that means it can push quite a bit. Support is obviously the last swing low, but this is not high quality price action. So the key level to overcome here is this descending trend line. There's also going to be next resistance at around 26 cents. Yeah, wealth in seconds. Thank you very much, but I can't give you a count on BitQ because this is far too complex. I've never had a chance to look at it. So a simple chart, yes, but BitQ is oh, is that it? Then it's bearish. Okay, so then it's bearish if that's it. I thought it was a bit more complex, but if that's it, then it's pretty bearish because it's a lifetime downtrend, right? So you actually have a very clear 5-wave move to the downside and so far 3 waves up. But it's just a quick view, so take it with a pinch of salt. But we have a downtrend and this is just looking like a corrective rally at the moment, to be honest. So it's pretty poor quality. This could be an ABC structure. What you cannot rule out is that out of this, it's forming a larger corrective rally, but it's certainly not an attractive uptrend. Bullish support is going to be the 78.6 retrace, which is at $4.17. So against that level, it has a chance to rally in wave C higher. And if it does that, see, which it might do if the crypto market takes off now, then resistance is all the way up to $21.45. So only above $21.45, I would consider something less bearish. But this chart looks bearish. So only above $21.45, I might consider something more or something bullish. Let's rather call it less bearish. Yeah, so I think we've been here now for an hour, guys. I think I'll cover a few more, but then sort of in the next few minutes, I guess we'll close it. It's been an hour already. It's crazy how fast the time is running. A few people asked about HBAR I've seen. And also it's already pretty late. And Bitcoin doesn't seem to be motivated to do something right now. Well, it might do that later. But I think I covered everything I can say about Bitcoin, to be honest. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I mean, XRP, probably to a degree also dependent on Bitcoin. Still in the triangle, but a break above 55.8 cents. That's just the key level, right? So I guess we can assume if Bitcoin really does the move and does break out, then XRP will follow. And then the next target would be around 63 cents. Whereas this is an ideal spot to turn around. They are all sitting now at this key pivot point, like XRP is sitting here at this trend line. Bitcoin is sitting just below 32K. ADA is sitting just below 27 cents. You know, you see that everywhere now. This is an ideal spot to fail. So the risk to the upside is, or the risk to the downside is getting larger here. Okay. But yeah, no sign a top is in place at this stage. But that can happen very quickly, overnight or something. So Fantom. I mean, Fantom bounced off support, but yeah, I mean, this could still form a massive, I don't know if that counts as head and shoulders, maybe not. But yeah, you know, this is still a bit of a mess. Fantom. We did say we can give it a chance for a bullish scenario as long as it's holding the, what was long-term bullish support? I think it's down here, 3.3 cents. So we're far away from that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like this chart. I mean, to really give me something more bullish, it will have to break above 63 cents, above this high. I don't know what this is. The last rally was just corrective. The move down was in 5 waves. I mean, this could just be an easy corrective rally now. But the problem is just it hasn't made another low, and that is the problem. Had it made another low here, I would say, okay, we probably started the next move up. So yeah, I don't know. It's holding above support. I mean, you can always focus on higher against the last swing low, right? Because we've just come from support, but because this seems to be a more meaningful rally, but I'm not convinced. I'm not happy to say here a low is in or anything. A local low, yes, but I don't have a micro count for this one. Okay, yeah, and maybe let's do the last one, HBAR, and then we close the stream because it's been over an hour and it's late here. So HBAR is slowly starting to move towards the target box there, right? This is still, in my view, very weak though, HBAR compared to some other coins, very weak. Targeting 5.8 cents to 6.7, that would be ideal in this E wave still, and we're not there yet. So I think we might get there, but it shows a lot of weakness. So, but that would be still the ideal scenario. Nothing more bullish really visible at the moment. At the moment, I would still watch for another bear market low. To be honest, there's yeah, especially because while the most of the crypto market has taken off a little bit, HBAR hasn't done that. So not sure if there are any underlying problems or just it will just join a bit later. But yeah, I still haven't lost sight of that target there. Okay, I mean, I will have to close the stream now. Thanks all for joining. Bitcoin certainly didn't make a new 2023 high in this live stream, but it might still do that. And we all know about support. I think all the parameters are defined. Everybody has some levels to watch. And yeah, thanks all. Enjoy your day, evening, and whatever time it is. Right. We're worldwide. Thank you, everybody. Thanks all for joining. And yeah, I mean, if you wanna be informed like 24 hours, 7 days a week, you might want to check out our membership if some of you are interested in that. Short-term market updates. It's a great community. Again, any member who's here, anybody who's joined really today, but all the members, I really appreciate your support. I sincerely hope that our posts and signals and updates really help you on your journey. I guess if they wouldn't, then you weren't a member. So thanks all for your support. And yeah, have a great day, evening, morning, and bye-bye.